Using sound to restore coral reefs. It's a new technology that a scientist tested with successful results in the Great Barrier Reef in Australia, and it is now being introduced to Jamaica. Krista Campbell was in Portland recently and now reports.
Coral reefs, the rainbows of the sea. The reefs attract at least a quarter of marine animals and plants worldwide. But in Jamaica, about 85% of coral reefs have been degraded over the last 40 to 50 years due to hurricanes, pollution, overfishing, and bleaching. This is a model of a bleached coral reef, and it's the very thing that's being used in a new technique aimed at restoring coral reefs in Jamaica, called the Coral Sonic Resilience Project.
So what we do, we record the sound of healthy reefs in multiple locations in the area here for a couple of days, so for 3-4 days in a row. And then once we have collected the sound of healthy reefs, we erase all the anthropogenic noise and we create a sound portrait of the healthy reefs of Jamaica.
Multimedia artist Marco Barotti says he took inspiration from a scientific exploration which started in Australia's Great Barrier Reef.
So where Professor Lamont recorded the sound of healthy reefs in multiple locations, and then he played those sounds back into degraded colonies for over 40 days, and he proved the fish and other marine organisms came back to the reef because of the sound.
Mr. Barotti first launched his Coral Sonic Resilience project in the Maldives and presented his successes at an art show in Venice, Italy last year. He was called to replicate the initiative in Jamaica, beginning in the waters surrounding the Alligator Head Foundation in Portland.
Sound for corals and young fish is very important because they use sound to navigate and to locate suitable habitats to settle and grow, right? So by playing the sound of healthy reef, we recruit new marine ecosystems to live in the reefs which are damaged and to bring life back where life has gone.
He explains that 6 pieces of the reef sculptures will be stacked underwater with a solar-powered loudspeaker on top called a hydrophone. The sculptures are made from ceramic material and calcium carbonate, the same material as actual coral reefs. The Alligator Head Foundation says the project will also be tested in its coral reef nursery and will help support its sexual and asexual reproduction coral restoration programs.
So once we have our babies that have been fertilized, so the egg and the sperm have met, and the baby starts to divide, starts swimming, once it gets to the point where it starts to settle, we want to experiment with, if you play the sounds, will we actually increase the settlement rates? So we would have more babies successfully being recruited or settled on our reef. So that's something that we can do within our lab in a very controlled environment.
The coral reef sculptures will be deployed at the end of March 2026, and work is being done to test if healthy sounds can also restore degraded seagrass in Jamaica. At an average cost of $120, Mr. Barotti says the hydrophones are affordable enough for private citizens to buy, and he hopes they will record and share even more data that scientists can use as part of restorative works. Reporting from the Alligator Head Foundation here in Portland, I'm Krista Campbell for TVJ News.
Thank you so much, Krista.